Welcome back to the show. Sports Day not too far away, but we are joined in the studio by one of the absolute superstars.
Oh, yes.
Not only of the W, of Australian sport, of course,
That's
the great
right.
Tayla Harris.
Statues. Anytime you've got a statue.
Well, we're not going to talk about the statue because we're here to talk about a whole lot of other things,
I'm just saying,
Yes.
just to highlight
That is true.
the privilege we have in the studio.
Gazy, where's your statue?
Oh, thanks very much for that. No, I haven't got a statue. I do have a little statue. I got a real tiny one that they give out each year as the MVP, and it's a little statue of me.
It's on the dash of your car, isn't it?
It's no, it would fit. It would certainly fit.
If a bird can't do poo on it,
Right.
it doesn't qualify.
It's not a statue,
No.
is
It's a
it?
poo
No.
test.
No,
Yeah,
that's
a
right.
bird's got to be able to sit there and
That
dump
is
on it,
true.
and unless it's doing that.
That is true.
Hey, before we get stuck into talking, you're an ambassador for the shapes, of course. The new 4 and 20 classic meat pie shape is out and about and actually doing a crazy business. I mean, everybody around here who's tasted it is absolutely in love with the thing. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I was watching you on the weekend, as I do every single week when you play your footy, and you look to be in a world of pain. And
Did.
some news has come out just before we went to air about your shoulder, and it's not good news.
Yeah, pretty devastating, obviously, round one, and had a shoulder dislocation in the game. An incident in the first quarter, which was super innocuous, but surprised me too. It kind of just fell out when I was just kind of jostling with my opponent. I suppose a subluxation, you'd call it,
Yep.
pre-dislocation, so to speak. So later on in the game, though, continued, was all good, did all the testing, felt confident, and then got tackled and just landed awkwardly. And, yeah, dislocated, and I couldn't quite work out how to get it back in place
Oh,
when
right,
I was
okay.
laying on the
no.
ground. So, yeah, fair bit of pain for sure, but then eventually put it back in place by sitting up and slowly kind of getting it there, and then huge amount of relief from the pain as soon as it went back into its socket. Ultimately has resulted in me needing surgery, though. I actually just had the same operation in December on the right side, so if anything, I know what I've got
Wow.
in store, but this one's rehabbed really well
Right.
and is at a point where I'm really confident in it. So that'll be the result probably 6 months later with the left side. So next season, can't wait to play my first game
Wow.
without shoulder concerns.
But is that, given you've had it on the other side, is that just really, really bad luck, or is there some genetic disposition for you to have these types of injuries?
Bad luck for the timing, but I have hypermobile joints,
Right.
so you can blame mum and dad for that one.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. I guess ultimately it was my advantage in some ways
Yeah.
that I would potentially have issues, but it wouldn't smash back into place. Like sometimes people would dislocate a shoulder and it would go out, get stuck, and then smash back in and break things along the way. Mine would kind of slip in and out. So I'd avoid a little bit of things a lot in my career, but too many occasions like that meant that now it's completely worn down, and the instability is the issue here.
So is it a reco that you have to do? Is that what you had done on the other shoulder?
It's called a Laget procedure.
Right.
So from what I can understand, and it looks like on the x-ray, they screw some screws in there and put some bone in a certain spot and stops it from dislocating. But I know that sounds gory, but I was asleep the whole time, so I can't really remember.
What does it do to you? What does it do to your other sporting love? Does it? How badly is that affected by boxing? Affected by the issues that you got with your shoulders?
No, not affected at all. If anything, boxing was the reason for the longevity to now. Like,
Right.
I feel like this was something, actually, I remember in my first season at the Lions that I was told that it would be something I would need to be operated on quite soon because I had an
Right.
incident way back then when I was 17, 18. So I've managed to get all the way here, and I narrow a lot of it down to the strength and resilience I've built through boxing. The issue is in those really vulnerable positions above my head, or in the ruck contest, for example, which was the reason the right shoulder had issues. And on this occasion, it was just really bad luck that I landed in the angle that I did. It could have happened in this game. It could have happened in the last game of the season, but here we are now. And yeah, obviously, you get all the way to round one.
Oh, it's so
and you
devastating,
have
right?
2 disposals of glory, and then it's all over. So I guess 2's better than 1. But
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I give you credit because maybe because it's relatively new, the diagnosis and what lies ahead, but you seem very positive about it all, and I guess that's the resilience you've been able to build up over many years.
I think I can see the opportunity to learn a lot off field and have a role in the club still. I
Yeah.
think I've got a few players to look towards that are also in long-term rehab in our group who I can be around for this process. Jacinta Jose is one that we've drafted who has an ACL, who's had an ACL operation, who is still on her way back. And yeah, so she's someone that I really respect the way that she's gone about her rehab so far. To be able to do it alongside her is in a way, a positive, so I can get to know her a bit more and draw some inspiration from her journey. And yeah, I've just done it. So I think for me, the other scenario is playing the season just like last season with a compromised shoulder, which is not really something anyone wants to be doing.
And not the way you play your footy either.
Well, this is true. And I think for me, if I was to get out there and not be fully fit, I feel like I wasn't able to contribute to the best of my ability. I would do everything I could, as I did last year. But with the knowledge that there could be an incident at a critical time of the game, like, I'm just not really comfortable with that. That wasn't an option moving forward for this season, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It would have been something that I would have considered for sure. Like, I want to be out there with my teammates. I've worked really hard to be there for this season. But to jeopardise our team potentially in an important game wasn't something I was comfortable doing.
Particularly off the back of last year. Good home and away season. Put yourself in a great position. Go out in straight sets in the finals. I would have imagined there would have been a really sharp focus on, okay, let's get back there again. And when we do, let's not let what happened last year happen again. Make amends kind of thing. I imagine that would have been a real focus this season.
Yeah, I think obviously playing Geelong in round one, who ultimately put us out of the finals and showcased their skills in last season, to be able to beat them in round one, just gone only by a couple of points, was pretty exciting.
It's a great game.
Nonetheless. So, yeah, I feel like we're off to a good start, obviously, with a win.
Yeah.
But our group is a really exciting group and some young players that are going to bring a lot to the competition, as is every team. I can't wait for this season, to be honest. And to be fair, now that I get to sit out and watch... Fair enough. Like, I get to watch our team put on a show. So.
There you go.
Hey, I was over in Paris at the Olympics doing some commentary, and hard to beat the buzz and the excitement. You spent some time over there. What was it like?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I had the opportunity through Nike, obviously, to be part of a pretty incredible group of people that we came together for an athlete think tank, it's called. So various athletes from various sports all come together. I was Australia's representative, essentially, in this. And, yeah, we come together as a group or a cohort and provide feedback to Nike on how they can better serve female athletes. Obviously, the timing of it was a few weeks before the season, but I left on Thursday after training, arrived back Thursday before training, got to learn some things that I could never, imagine. I could have had the opportunity to ask certain questions, and upon arrival, presented to the group my learnings and findings.
That's awesome.
And, yeah, coincidentally, our team had that weekend off. So,
So you didn't really miss much.
Yeah, I actually didn't. So it was perfect timing. It was something that the club was fantastic
What
about.
was the big takeaway from that? What was the feedback and the thing that was there a consistent message from all the female athletes?
Yeah, there was actually. So a couple of the people that may be known, Serena Williams, Sue Bird was there.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some pretty incredible people that I got to be in the room with. So I was certainly in awe for sure. But a common theme was curiosity was one of those underlying kind of comments that kept being made, like be curious, stay curious, continue to ask questions. Obviously in female sport, there's a lot of room to improve, and a lot of times when you're in a room and you actually have to stand up and use your voice. And I think rightly or wrongly, but for example, Serena's sentiment was that you don't have a choice, you've got to do it, whether it's for you or the future generation. It's something that as a female athlete in this day and age done to ensure that we're in a good spot moving forward.
And where are we at with footy? I mean, when you started playing, there would have been no footy boots designed for girls or women. You would have had to wear boots that were boys or men's boots. In terms of the development of the equipment required to play footy, and thankfully there's not all that much equipment required to play footy, are you being heard? Are the demands and the requirements of female sports people, are they getting listened to by the product designers?
Yeah, well, obviously Nike specifically, I can attest to, yes. Like, we actually sat down for one of the sessions with the cohort, was an innovation session about sports bras. So the sportswear team was literally asking us as where do you see this product sit in, I guess, in your wardrobe? Is this something that you prioritise or choose to play on game day? Is this particular garment something that you rely on or that you need more from, or how does it fit? Like, it was a really in-depth conversation that everyone was kind of taking notes, and I trust that information will be fed back.
Yeah.
And then we got to see a few of the bras that are on the way, new and exciting prospects that are going to come into the market soon enough.
Well, there's a bit of R&D in that over here in Australia as well, isn't there? We've seen, I think Brad Johnson,
he does.
his family
Zena.
might have got in stuff, with stuff like that.
Yeah, I think from what I can understand, the garment is more of a protective
Yep.
around the rib cage and obviously breasts. So I think that is something that's unique in women's sport.
Yeah.
I can say that there is a lot of
Good.
innovation
That's
along
great.
that way. But in terms of boots, there's also female boots on the way or already in the market, but on the way as well. Thankfully, I've got a big hoof, so I can fit in the men's size, which is fine by me. But yeah, there's certainly some players that have a small.
How do you go about all this? Because it seems like you have great responsibility, not just to the AFL and your club, but to a whole gender and as one of the, if not the most recognisable AFLW players, how do you cope with it? Is it stressful? You got to deal with a lot of eyeballs specifically on you, and you got to deal with adversity. How are you coping with all that?
Well, I'm just really proud of what I'm doing. The people that I get to share a locker room with, my teammates, for example, I love them, support them till the end of the earth, and I think that they're incredible people and athletes. So more often than not, I'm talking on behalf of female athletes, not so much me myself. Of course, I can only speak to the things that I do on and off the field at times, but if I'm advocating for AFLW, for example, I'm talking about players like Kate Hoare, Tyler Hanks, these incredible athletes that we have in Australia that I want to showcase to the world. I literally was speaking to Serena Williams about Melbourne Demons. That's where I see value in these opportunities that I have to advocate for our incredible sport, AFL, which is mental. And you said before we don't need much. That was very surprising to the American athletes when I said, you just wear a mouthguard, pair of footy boots, and go out there and belt each other. And they're like, no padding or headgear or anything. Not necessary in our sport. Maybe some shoulder guards would be nice.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, it's something that I'm really proud of speaking about. And yeah, of course there is scrutiny and all those sorts of things in the media, etc. But it all gets overshadowed by the fact that there's a young girl that was at the Geelong game, Zara, who maybe will listen to this, and she supports me on social media, always comments on my stuff, and I love to see her growing and hopefully picking up a footy and ending up playing AFLW. But I saw her in the crowd from 10 metres away and I yelled out Zara because I could see her little profile picture on Instagram. So it's like those sorts of things, you realise you have an impact beyond yourself.
Wow.
And then it's very easy to handle a few people having a few different opinions.
Awesome.
Good
That's
on
good
you.
on you.
Yeah.
And you've come a long way and you continue to forge a path and you've got a long way to go and much more work to do in all of those spaces. So good on you. Righto. So
Andy,
you're here to talk about
Well, I was about to say.
Well, I was going to say
this.
Go on.
With all this success,
Yes.
and notoriety,
Yes.
it comes opportunity.
Correct.
And one of the opportunities is with some of the most iconic brands that are out there from an Australian standpoint. I don't know if there's any bigger one than Shapes. In fact,
The Arnott Shapes.
Well, 4 and 20 is big enough. So
and the 4 and 20 pie. So you combine them and you come up with a delicious snack. And it's because most of us, I grew up on the original barbecue number.
I'm a savoury man. One of the OGs.
But this one here, how does all this come about with you?
Well, 4 and 20's been a partner of mine for a long time, and in the boxing world have been on my sports bra front and centre. So, yeah, they have combined with Shapes and have made a really iconic Aussie snack. So watch the finals footy, AFLW on the couch, and enjoy these. Gazy's tried them.
I did.
Yeah, you put him through the taste test. How did he go?
We've done some taste testing.
We did.
He worked out quite quickly the shape of the little Australia on the Shapes. So I think that's probably how you worked out.
Well,
it was going to be a new one, and then you tasted it and you could taste the meat pie straight away.
Well, I thought when I first picked it up, because I am quite partial to the Vegemite shape as well, which is a delicious alternative. But now this is the new 4 and 21, and surprisingly, it actually tastes like a pie.
It does, yeah. They're good. Try them. I think won't set you
Oh,
back
they'll
too
get
much
tried.
on the bank. But yeah, go to Coles, Woolies, anywhere that you can find them.
Yeah.
Get them. Sit down on the couch with the kids, whoever you want. Watch the footy. Also, pair it up with a real meat pie as well, 4 and 20, and then you'll be good to go.
One of my kids who puts tomato sauce on everything will probably want to put tomato sauce on these.
Her and I have that in common.
Well, she's the blonde who you know.
Yes,
she
my
puts
dad's-
tomato sauce on everything.
Yeah, that's my dad's
Well, I don't know about
tendency
that.
I've picked up. And
I'm not sure you can do that.
Can you?
You can
Okay.
do anything.
Can you taste? Is there a
Sauce on the shape.
Is there a
Why
tomato?
not?
Is there a do a couple of the shapes in the packet have the other than just being the meat and gravy flavour? Do they have the meat, gravy, and tomato sauce dollop
I didn't
flavour
come
attached to
across
it?
I didn't.
Do we
come
have
Great
some?
question.
There you go. This is the next piece of innovation.
No, I don't think so.
That the shapes and 4 and 20 Arnott Shapes and 4 and 20
You're
need to
just
get
trying
there.
to spoil the
No, I'm trying to add
delicious
to-
taste of a 4 and
All
20
right.
meat
How many
pie.
times do you have a 4 and 20 pie without tomato sauce?
Oh, every now and again.
Oh, you do not.
Can get a bit messy.
Taylor, do you ever have a pie without sauce?
Illegal.
Exactly.
No,
It is illegal. It should be illegal.
it's not illegal,
It should be.
and it's a beautiful thing. Try it sometime.
No, I'm with you. It should be not allowed.
It's necessary.
Disappointing about your shoulder. That is a huge.
Yes.
That is no good. It's a blow to the competition and a blow to Melbourne. So and a blow to you. So Speedy and complete recovery, please.
Thank you. I think just quickly though, you asked before the reason that I seem upbeat and okay about it. It was a tough weekend. I think I knew the reality of the scenario on the ground in Geelong, so I've had a few more days to actually digest what was bound to happen. But I think for me, again, like perspective comes into this too. Like I still get to participate in being around the footy club and enjoy that. We're in Australia. I get to get some great surgery options, and I just think the bigger picture here is that
is a beautiful thing.
I'm still getting around, and I'll be having an unreal preseason next year, no doubt, and then ready to rock and roll.
That is an attitude that's going to see not only through this little disappointment, but throughout life. If that's your attitude,
it is infectious.
You're going to have a very, very happy and long, successful life. So well done. I'm inspired by the way in which you are handling this situation.
Infectious positivity.
Yes.
Good luck, Tay. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Keen to hear more from the Ds? Subscribe here.